In a nation grappling with the world's highest levels of inequality, the Budget Justice Coalition has expressed concerns about the National Assembly's adoption of the 2025-26 Fiscal Framework, while welcoming the rejection of a proposed VAT increase by most political parties. The BJC says that even those who endorsed the framework, despite opposing the VAT hike, did so with the caveat that the Finance Minister must review alternative funding options within 30 days, as recommended by parliamentary finance committees. With the looming VAT implementation due for May the 1st, the coalition's urging the Government of National Unity and National Treasury to act swiftly on equitable redistributive revenue proposals and calls for the Finance Minister to present revised plans to Parliament within 10 days. For more now, I'm joined by Matshidiso Lengwazo, Steering Committee member of Budget Justice Coalition. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for coming to studio.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk about this.
What are the main reasons why BJC is opposed to the VAT increase?
Sure. I think the fundamental reason is because of the impact on the everyday people. I mean, we're already, as you mentioned, among the highest, most unequal countries in the world. Our poverty rates are persistent and our economy has been struggling to create job opportunities for many people. And so any increases to prices and consumption prices do actually reduce consumer spending. We saw that in the 2018 VAT proposal, the VAT increase at the time, and it also does compound inflation in the country. And looking at the context of our country and also seeing the international pressures, we can't have the most marginalized people bearing the burden of our fiscal framework. And that is the foreground reason that we reject this VAT increase, because of the impact on the most marginalized and economically vulnerable communities.
Do you have any other options that you'd like to put forward?
Absolutely. So the BJC is among 49 of 51 submissions that were made to Parliament before the passing of the fiscal framework. And we have made, I mean, since 2018, since the first VAT increase, we had made so many proposals, including reviewing some of the corporate incentives that are not effective. You know, there are, in addition to other corporate incentives, there's a corporate tax rate that was reduced to 27% in 2022 so that companies can create more jobs. But what we're seeing is that a lot of companies just invested those savings on international markets. That's not really growing our economy. And so we're really calling for alternatives that are foregrounded in building our economy, creating jobs so that people in this country can really secure their futures. I mean, those are just, like, that's just one example. We've seen, we have a wide range of those, and just implore people to just look at what other people are saying in Parliament. I mean, to have 49 submissions, I mean, 51 in general was unprecedented that we've seen, but 49 different organizations saying, actually, we have alternatives, and then also political parties as well. It just shows that it doesn't have to be this way. We can course correct and propose a budget that works for the people of this country.
Who are you saying would be hardest hit by the increase?
Definitely the most economically vulnerable households. So yes, on the one hand, there has been an expansion of zero-rated goods, which one would think that is a good thing. But when you look at the tariffs that have been passed, many of the goods that have been expanded, like poultry, for instance, and the offals, they are imported, and so they're impacted by tariffs. So already prices are going to be high for economically marginalized, vulnerable people. So to then propose instead zero rating, it's only just putting a little bandage, but it doesn't fully cover the most marginalized people. And that's the whole point of VAT. VAT is supposed to be, it's a consumption tax. They're trying to get as much money from everybody, especially including the most economically marginalized people in our country.
And how does the BJC view the increases in social spending on health and education, and why do you believe these gains are undermined by the fiscal framework?
Sure. So this is also quite interesting because over these past few years, we've been criticizing the previous budgets because they had tabled nominal and real budget cuts towards education, health and social spending. We've seen that because we still see reports of doctors who are newly qualified sitting at home, and yet when you go to a clinic or a hospital, you know there's a shortage of personnel. So that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And so we've seen that persistent budget cuts. So this year, seeing budgets that actually propose increases to these areas was welcomed, but we still reject how they propose funding this. So yes, on the one hand, we do need to look at our expenditure and make sure that we are spending in a way that is for the in the best interest of the people of the country. But so, like, the way that we generate revenue also needs to be in the interest of our people.
Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. That was Matshidiso Lengwazo, Steering Committee member of Budget Justice Coalition.